So, a fresh new week has arrived, and here on this channel, that means one thing and one thing only. Every weekend, I post an episode of this series we do called Your Take Not Mine, where I turn to you, the viewers, to give me your hottest NBA takes of the week, based on what's going on at the time, and I then choose my favorite submissions and discuss them in a video. This week, more big matchups have gone down between some of the top teams, we've seen some more trade rumors start to swirl, and the standings are looking pretty interesting so far, so we definitely have plenty to discuss. In order to submit your takes, I make a community post on either the day of or the day before the video, similar to the one that you see on your screen now. So if you want a chance to be featured in a future episode, be sure to stay on the lookout for that. Before we start though, I want to thank PrizePicks for sponsoring today's video. PrizePicks is a skill-based, real-money, daily fantasy sports game where you select 2 to 6 players and guess if they will hit over or under on their projections, and if you get it right, you can win up to 25 times your original entry. Obviously, we're all basketball fans here, but PrizePicks has almost every sport you can think of available to choose and play from. To add to the fun, they also offer frequent bonuses, discounts, and weekly promotions such as Taco Tuesday and Flex Friday, plus so many more specialty free spaces to watch for throughout the year, so you don't want to miss those. I personally will be playing Bam Adebayo to score over 23.5 points, Jarrett Allen to grab over 9.5 rebounds, and Darius Garland to attempt over 4.5 threes for tonight's slate of games. To sign up, go down to the link in the description and use promo code REFERENCE when you sign up to get a deposit match bonus of up to $100. Once again, thank you to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to the topic at hand. The first take we'll be discussing today comes to us from Dav, and he says that the Miami Heat are better without Tyler Herro. I chose this one because it's a narrative that's been running for quite some time, and once again the Heat are performing well enough without Herro to give these allegations some merit. The Heat stunned everybody during last season's postseason with a run all the way to the NBA Finals as the 8th seed, and they did so after Tyler Herro got injured in the very first playoff game of that run, which forced him to miss the rest of the playoffs. Now this season the Heat had a relatively quiet offseason, planning for the return of Herro and trying unsuccessfully to trade for Damian Lillard, but they started this season winning just one of their first 5 games, while Herro in that stretch was balling out, which of course made takes like this one even louder. This then got further accentuated by the fact that Herro has once again suffered an injury, and after that slow start, in the games immediately after he went down, the Heat rattled off 6 wins in a 7-game stretch. Now, I'm not going to lie, it's not looking very good for Herro when you take all of that into consideration, but I don't think that's a fair conclusion to come to at all, and believe that there is a lot more that goes into it. For one, during the regular season, Jimmy Butler is notorious for half-assing his way through the season, rarely going all out until the playoffs. He takes a back seat to guys like Herro and Bam Adebayo quite often in the regular season, to not only show that he trusts them, but to also build their confidence for big moments and to save himself for the games that really matter. When Herro gets injured, that will of course kick Jimmy into high gear because he then knows that he has to step up, and when Jimmy is going hard, the Heat will be a good team regardless. Plus, the Heat's offense is still pretty mediocre this year, and while Herro may not be nearly as good as Damian Lillard in this regard, he still provides the kind of shot creating skill set that the Heat were desperately in need of, which caused them to want to acquire Lillard in the first place. I just think the Heat need Tyler Herro and Jimmy Butler both firing on all cylinders at the same time more often, which doesn't happen very often. What I don't think is the case is the idea that taking Herro off the team would magically make them better, like many want to push. The next take we'll be discussing today comes to us from Concord, and he says that the Lakers would be worse off if they chose to trade for DeMar DeRozan or Zach LaVine, because what they actually need is better role players. The Chicago Bulls are on the verge of collapse, with big moves seeming to be imminent. A report from a Bulls beat reporter just came out saying that they would like to trade Zach LaVine first and then go from there, looking for other trades, but they're at a point where they may be forced to take what they can get. The Lakers, meanwhile, are having a fine season so far, currently in 7th place in the West, but they don't want to settle for mediocrity in what might be LeBron James' last season on the team. I can agree with the sentiment argument that the Lakers need better support from the role players on a nightly basis, but what I think more people need to realize is that the Lakers are currently missing a few of their best role players because they're out with injury and will be returning soon. Jared Vanderbilt and Rui Hachimura are two very important contributors in the team's front court who will give them a big boost, especially defensively, and Gabe Vincent didn't get off to a solid start this year by any means, but he's definitely a better shooter than what he showed in that early part of the season. I actually do think the Lakers need someone who can be more of a go-to scorer from the perimeter to alleviate LeBron James and Anthony Davis in the front court. Austin Reeves was the player that they hoped could take that kind of leap, but he just hasn't, and D'Angelo Russell is who he's always been as an incredibly streaky shooter and decision maker. Looking at LaVine and DeRozan as options, I don't think either are bad fits at all like this take seems to insinuate. You just have to take into consideration the price tag that it might take to get each one of them. With LaVine's production this year taking a bit of a dip on top of the fact that the Bulls would undoubtedly ask for more in return for him in a trade, I can agree that acquiring him might actually set the Lakers back in the long run, but with DeRozan being on an expiring contract, it shouldn't take that much to be able to get him, which makes me very intrigued with the idea of the Lakers going after him. And finally, the last take we'll be discussing today comes to us from A1 Riz, and he says that the only thing stopping the Orlando Magic from being legitimate contenders this season is their lack of experience, because they have everything that a top team needs. The Magic are easily the biggest pleasant surprise this year, emerging as the team currently in second place in the East after a few years of rebuilding. The reason for their surge has come on the defensive end, as they are currently the second best ranked defense this season, and they've been absolutely suffocating their opponents with a group that play fully in sync with each other on that end. Jalen Suggs is emerging as a player that looks like a Marcus Smart regen, causing havoc as an on-ball defender. Jonathan Isaac is back in the rotation, picking up where he left off, as a bench player who subs in and immediately makes his versatility, length, and rim protection felt. They have a ton of size all throughout their lineup to throw at teams, and the rotations they make really impress me as this young team does an excellent job communicating and adjusting on that end. They have everything they need to be a fun, emerging playoff team, which is a terrific step for them, but contending for a championship is a whole different beast that I don't think they're ready for. To win a championship, the fact of the matter is that you need to have a superstar talent that you can rely upon to lead the offense, and that's what the Magic do not have at this point in time. Paolo Banchero could be that down the line, but right now he just is not there yet, and Franz Wagner is showing he could be an emerging all-star type talent, but is not close to reaching that next level either. I feel very comfortable imagining them as a very tough out in the first round of the playoffs, but when it comes to going all the way, they're in the one piece away category. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you think about the takes we discussed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.